Hello and welcome back to another episode of the DIYguy.net. Alright, today we're going to be showing you how to assemble or put together your portable Generac generator. We were going to do this outside, but it started to sprinkle, so we moved inside. Hopefully it'll pass quick. By the time we get this assembled, we can go back outside and test it. So we went with the Generac XG7000E. The reason we chose the XG series is it has the pressurized oil system to lubricate the motor. It also uses a spin-on filter, kind of like a car. Some other features of the XG series is it has a 9-gallon fuel tank, some 10-inch never flat tires. They're pretty much just solid plastic, hard plastic. This one, since it's the 7000 model, uses the 407cc motor. Alright, I think Generac is phasing out the XG series, or dropping it. I believe they only sell the XG4000E and the XG10000E on their website still. I believe they're replacing it with the XT model, or series. I believe it's going to be a Lowe's exclusive, but I'm not sure. Some key features with the XT series is the smaller fuel tank. It's only a 7.5 gallon. They also went to 9.5-inch tires that are semi-solid. But the one thing that the XT series does have over the XG is it does have the idle control. So if the generator senses that you're not drawing any power, it's going to idle down and save you some fuel and also some decibels on the sound. So depending on what you're actually using the generator for, that may be a deciding factor for you. If you're at the job site, you're using the air compressor and it cycles on and off, that could save you some fuel, may be beneficial to you. Or if you're just a homeowner doing a couple projects around, it'll idle down for you. If you're using it for a whole house backup, chances are you're going to have something drawing power, so the engine's going to run at the 3600 RPMs anyway. So I just wanted to mention with that idle control on the XT series, it doesn't matter how much voltage it sees. You could be using a trickle charger, you can be using the trickle charger to charge the battery on the generator itself, and you could be using just a DeWalt or a cordless battery charger as well. As soon as it sees any kind of draw, it's going to ramp up to that 3600 RPMs. So something else people get wrong is they think the battery is going to charge while the generator is running, and that's not the case. You actually have a plug right here on the panel where you plug in your DC converter and it plugs in and then charges your battery like a trickle charger or a battery tender. Alright, so some things that comes with the AC to DC battery tender, an extra oil filter to change at 30 hours when you've got your break-in period, some fuel treatment. This is stable. I'd recommend using Startron. Here we can get some high octane 93. That's ethanol free, so that's what we're going to be using in it. This little hardware here is for attaching our front foot. This hardware here is for the wheels. They give you a shop rag, a paper funnel, which is used to put oil in it because it comes shipped without oil. They give you a spark plug and an air filter. That is to be changed at your 200-hour service. They also recommend changing the oil again at 100 hours. Your owner's manual, the wheels obviously, and your oil to put in now, and one for your 30-hour change. So we'll go a little bit closer, do a little walk around of the generator, and then we'll start assembling it. Alright, so a closer look at our control panel. We got our choke right here, our rocker switch to start it. It goes back to on, then off. Our gas shutoff, our 30 amp twist lock under here. These covers lock back on as a watertight. Our two 110 outlets that are 20 amp GFI'd. And our power bar to show how much power we're drawing off it. Our hour meter, and then the place to plug in our battery. The oil fill is on this side, and then the wire that we need to connect to the starter so we can actually start it. But we want to go ahead and fill it with oil before we do. Going around this side, you got your handle. You pull it up, the little silver tab locks in so you can lift it, push it in, and it'll roll back down. We got our spark arrestor muffler. So up here we have our fuel gauge, obviously our fuel cap, our vent for our fuel tank. You come down here, like I said, this is the XG series, so there's our spin-on automotive filter. Right here is our low pressure oil shutoff. So if it doesn't sense any pressure, it'll hopefully shut off and save your motor. You come around this side, you got your backup pull start and your air box. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is fill it full of oil. Then we'll go ahead and connect our starter lead we'll go ahead and throw this wheel on, and then we'll move on to the other side. So we'll go ahead, remove our oil fill. Go ahead and set that aside. Alright, so when you fill it up with oil, you want to fill it up just to the bottom of the threads of the oil cap. We're going to put cardboard in just so we don't make a nice mess of it, because it is nice and new. We'll go ahead and grab our paper funnel, get it into our go ahead and wipe it. Alright, now that we got it full of oil, right up here is our stud that we need to connect our starter wire onto for the starter. It's going to be a 3/8 nut. There's a washer that we need to remove as well. So we're going to grab a 3/8 socket, put it on a 1/4 inch ratchet, and go ahead and remove that nut on the stud. It is a lock nut. So you want to make sure you get that washer with it. Now we're going to go ahead and put that lead on. We'll push back the red insulator. Go ahead and put the washer on next. And then the nut, and tighten it on down. Go ahead and slide our insulator back over it so nothing can touch it, short out. Alright, so now that we got the insulator on, we're going to go ahead and grab our wheel. We want the offset closest spacing in. We'll go ahead and grab our wheel stud here, the one that takes the cotter pin. Then we'll put our wheel shim on, or the washer. Then we're going to go ahead and lift it up, stick it into this hole here, and then put the cotter pin through that hole. Alright, now that we got this wheel on, we're going to repeat the process on the other side, getting that wheel on. Then we'll go ahead and put the front foot on. So we spun the generator around, grab our wheel, install our wheel bolt, the washer or wheel shim. Go ahead and lift it up, slide it in, and put the cotter pin on. Alright, so now that we got both wheels on, we can go ahead and attach our front foot right here to these holes. So we'll go ahead and grab the front foot, we'll lift the generator up and align these holes with those holes. Alright, so now that we got the feet underneath and the holes lined up, we can go ahead and grab our hardware. We're going to put the washer on the bolt. We're going to drop that down through and put the nut on the underside. Alright, so we'll drop the bolt down through, attach our nut to the bottom. We'll run it down hand tight. Alright, now that we have this side done, we'll put the washer on the other bolt. Align this side, slide it down through, and put our washer on it. Alright, so now we got both sides snug down hand tight. We can grab a 1/2 inch socket, put it on our 1/4 inch ratchet. Also grab a 1/2 inch wrench to hold that bolt or nut on the bottom. And we'll go ahead and snug it on down to tighten that foot to the generator frame. Go ahead and tighten the other side as well. Alright, so we have our front foot bolted on. We're almost ready to go ahead and push the generator outside. fuel it up, and test it. Run through a quick little checklist to make sure we're ready to do so. So we have that front foot bolted on. Both bolts are nice and tight. We have our wheels installed left and right. The cotter pins are in it, so when we roll it, wheels don't fall off. We want to make sure your engine is full of oil. You want to check around your oil filter, also your drain hose and fitting to make sure you have no leaks. You want to make sure you connected the starter wire going from the battery to that starter terminal, and you got your insulator on there. The batteries do come charged, but depending on how long it's sit on the shelf or in the warehouse or on display, it may be depleted, so you may actually have to plug your battery tender in and charge the battery for a little while before you start it. So going through our checklist, we have everything done. We're ready to push this outside, fuel it up, and start it up. Alright, so we got the generator pushed outside in a well-ventilated space. We'll go ahead and remove the gas cap and fill it up with our premium non-ethanol fuel. Alright, so we have the generator now fueled up. We're ready to start it. We're going to go ahead and turn our gas valve on here, which is going to allow the gas to get from the tank to the carburetor. We'll pull our choke all the way out and then press our start button and start it. We'll try it 2 or 3 times. If it doesn't start, they do have a problem on these. When they're assembling them, somehow the gas line gets pinched behind this faceplate or crushed a little bit, so it restricts the flow of gas to the carburetor. So if you try it 2 or 3 times and it doesn't start, you may have a pinched gas line. Wait 5 minutes with the gas valve on, and then come back and try to start it. If it starts, then you probably have that pinched gas line. You'll need to pull that faceplate off and kind of readjust the line going to that valve. So we'll let it warm up for a little bit. Go ahead and plug something in the outlet and give it a test. So if I wasn't going to use my generator for an extended period of time right now, I'd be adding some Startron fuel stabilizer, let it run for a while or finish the project I'm working on. That way the stabilizer can kind of get mixed in with the gas. When I actually go to shut it down, I'd be closing the fuel valve, letting the engine draw all the gas it can out of the carburetor so the carburetor is empty. This is especially important to do if you live in an area with ethanol fuel, as when the ethanol fuel sits in the fuel bowl, it kind of draws in moisture. It kind of turns to a varnish and can easily clog the small jets on your carburetor. Like I said, it's not that much of a big problem here because I can get the high octane with the no ethanol, and that's what I run in all my small engines. So that's it. We just showed you how to assemble your generator, start it for the first time, make sure you're ready for the next power outage.
Don't forget to click the link in the description, which will take you to our website for a full write-up. You can also click that subscribe button in the middle. On the right, we have a recommended video just for you. and on the left you'll find our recent upload. Thanks for watching another episode of the DIYguy.net.